What's going on, YTPC? How about another pipe chat? Today I broke out the early morning pipe again. I'm getting down to the bottom of the bag that Alex over at Midway Piper sent me, so I'm gonna have to order me some here some soon. I gotta say though, I have really fell in love with the early morning pipe. It's I'm not gonna say it's replaced Prince Albert, but I have been all over this the last few weeks since he sent it to me. So I'll tell you something kind of bad that happened this weekend, Friday. My 11-year-old son was riding his bike, and we live in a pretty quiet neighborhood as far as, you know, what goes on. It's kind of, you know, no real problems in here, but one problem we do have are stray dogs. We're kind of in the country, but close enough to the city or the town to where we get people that drop off dogs. We get people that just don't take care of their dogs. And what I'm about to tell you was not a stray dog, but rather somebody's personal pet. But my son was riding his bike like he does many other days, and someone's pit bull come running out of their yard and attacked him. We had to rush him to the hospital with his, well, I'll back it up a little bit, because he's a trooper. He said he was riding a wheelie on his bike, and he heard a dog out the corner of his eye, so he put the front tire down, and the dog hit him in the leg, latched onto the back of his leg, and ripped out a huge chunk of, I mean, it's nasty. His leg was from right below the calf to right above the ankle. And maybe I'll put some pictures on the end of this for those who don't mind seeing that sort of thing. But I was at home. He called me and he said, "Dad, I need you to come get me." I was like, "What's wrong?" He's like, I need to go to the emergency room." And I'm thinking, okay, he's fell off his bike again and broke his arm or something, and which he's done in the past. So I'm like, okay, well, where are you at? And he's like, "I don't even know what road I'm on right now." He's like, I need you to come get me. I need to go to the ER. I'm like, "Well, what happened?" And he said, "I got attacked by a pit bull." So I jumped in my truck. Oh, I ran up the steps, told my wife, I grabbed my keys, told my wife, "Let's go." We go around there. He was actually just one street over. So I get over there, and when I pull up, his leg is just hanging out. It's basically his leg is turned inside out. And my son is a pretty good sports athlete. I was very worried that it got into the muscle, or that his Achilles tendon might be ripped out or something. He couldn't walk. By then, the lady had already gotten the dog into the house, and we rushed him. I put him in the truck and rushed him to the ER. They were awesome. They were awesome at the ER. They rushed him straight back into the trauma unit. And within seconds, we had 5 or 6 doctors in there, or I should say 5 or 6 workers, staff, whatever, nurses, doctor, and whatever else was in there. I don't know who they all were, but there was a bunch of them in there, and they treated this like a trauma. Everything moved quickly. They got him an IV, got him some antibiotics going, and eventually got him some morphine, and then they come in and rolled him over and started putting needles all in it. It's a spot, I mean, it's a spot probably this big. That was just ripped open. This was not a normal dog bite. And through it all, he was calm when he called me. He was calm on the way to the emergency room. The only time he showed any real pain was when they were putting the lidocaine into the wound to get ready to clean it out and, you know, assess whether or not we had to be rushed to Children's Hospital, or if they would be able to just clean it up and sew it back together. So, you know, you worry about the worst, obviously. They were scared that it got into his muscle or his Achilles tendon. Luckily, it did not appear that way, so they were able to, they flushed it with probably 3 bottles of water, sterile water or whatever they use to flush wounds like that with. And they a doctor came in and he felt like we could just sew it back up. So he kind of like if you're doing the lugs on a tire, he put a stitch here, put a stitch here, put a stitch here, and kind of like just brought it all together, and it actually sewed up really nicely. Back up a little bit. While we were on the way to the hospital, I called 911 to let them know, because our town is notorious for speed traps and whatever else, and I told them if they want to speak to me, they can catch me at the hospital, but I'm not stopping. Luckily, I didn't have any problems like that, but the sheriff's department met me over at the hospital and took a report, called the animal control, and I actually found out at the hospital when my son was telling the doctor that this dog has chased him and his friends a couple times. If I'd have known that, I'd already been down there talking to the owners, because it only takes a pit bull seconds to do such massive amounts of damage. But I mean, we're gonna try to get him scheduled with a specialist just to make sure everything is okay. Maybe get an MRI on the leg. The ER doctor seemed to think it was gonna be okay, as long as the flap that they sewed everything back up with, long as that piece of skin and meat or whatever, long as that don't die, they think that maybe it'll heal up okay. He can't walk on it right now on his leg. He can't. He has a hard time stretching it out, so he's on crutches. But I mean, he's been tough. I'm impressed by, you know, what an absolute gangster he's been throughout this whole ordeal. When we was at the hospital, the sheriff's department come in and said they tried to make contact with the owners and they could not make contact with them, but animal control was gonna go back out the next day. So Saturday on my way, me and my dad had to go to town for something, so we was riding together, and when we passed that house, the animal control was out there, and I seen them putting the pit bull into the house. I guess the owner was. So when the animal control officer walked out to her truck, I asked her, I said, you know, this is my son that bit, so what's going on? And she said that they are making them quarantine the dog in the house this weekend, and then Monday morning they have to go quarantine the dog at a vet. And I guess they're going to do temperament tests on the dog, whatever else they're going to do. I don't really know the process for that. I still don't know if the dog was up to date on his shots. I'm hopeful that he was, since they haven't said anything about it, but I don't know for sure. I'm probably going to call in the morning and find that out. But she also said that the owners wanted our information, our contact information, but that they couldn't give it to them by law. So look, I'm sure the people feel horrible. If they're any kind of decent people, I'm sure they feel horrible. And I've never been someone who necessarily has a grudge against pit bulls in general. I won't have them. Now, I had a pit bull when I was probably 17. Good dog. I don't have any ill will towards the entire, I guess, pit bull breed. However, if someone is going to have a pit bull, I don't care if it's the nicest dog in the world, I feel like you have to do, and this is what I would do, and I feel like everybody should do this, but obviously they don't, but I feel like if you're going to have a pit bull, you have to take the extra steps, the extra measures to ensure that that dog does not get out and attack somebody, because when they do, oftentimes it's catastrophic. And as a pit bull owner, you should be a responsible pit bull owner. Unfortunately, however, many people that own pit bulls, at least around here in my experience, they are usually people who don't have the means to put up a fence. They don't have the means to properly contain these dogs the way they should be contained. And so when one of them gets out like this, something else, I don't think I mentioned this, but my son said, so when he was on his bike, the dog got onto his leg and started shaking. He reached over with the other foot and kicked the dog in the head. And the dog squealed and let go, and then the dog made a second attempt to come back at him, and he kicked him in the face again. And that's kind of what saved my son. If this dog would have gotten him to the ground, or if, like I said, my son's a pretty strong athlete. He's a strong kid. If this would have been a smaller kid, a younger kid, or just a kid that, heck, it could have been my kid. If he would have just fell, let's just say that, and that dog would have taken this chunk out of his neck, we would be talking about a whole different situation right now. And I'm thankful to the good Lord above that it appears, as bad as it is, it could have been much worse. It's in the best possible, I guess, it appears he's going to be okay. So he's just in a lot of pain right now, pain that he should have never been in. because those people should have had their dog contained. I don't necessarily hold any ill will towards them. You know, I don't, you know, it's just a bad situation all the way around. I don't know if their dog will be put down. I don't wish somebody's dog to die. We just lost our family pet a couple weeks ago, so you know, that's horrible. But at the same time, you know, it's out of our control, because even if we wouldn't have called them, the hospital is required to call the police when something like that happens. So, and animal control. So it's out of our hands now. Whatever happens because they did not contain their dog, not because of anything we done. And I don't know if this dog has a bad record yet or not, but I mean, he's chased my son a couple times. My son said one of his other friends down the road said he's chased him before. So the dog obviously likes to chase kids on bikes or whatever. And they obviously not containing him enough to, I mean, they have a little small wire fence in the back that's not gonna keep a pit bull. It's just not. And so I don't know what the outcome is going to be of this. I know my son's in a lot of pain. He's taking it like a trooper, but he is, I mean, he can't walk. He's got another doctor's appointment tomorrow because he can't go to school right now until we can at least get him, even on crutches. He's not, you know, doing that well. So, but I love dogs, I love animals, but you know, we have a Chihuahua, and I promise you, with the temperament of a Chihuahua, if my dog could inflict massive, you know, amounts of pain to somebody, or, you know, rip them open like that, I would have him secured in a way where that could never happen, or I would try my, you know, hardest for that not to happen. But it just seems like so many times people around here with these pit bulls, they don't have them on. You know, I seen another one on the other side of the neighborhood when we was coming in today. Two of them playing. One of them was a pit bull, one of them was not. But, and I'm just like, they just don't seem to care around here. So, I know I'm kind of rambling on about this. I hope you stuck around for this video. But if you're the praying type and you don't mind, please say a prayer for him, that he makes a full recovery, and that this does not linger with him and cause him to he's going to miss the rest of his basketball season probably. You know, baseball's his #1 sport. We start that in February, so hopefully he'll be okay by then. But like I said, I'll put the pictures. I'll put the pictures at the end of this. But if you don't like seeing kind of like the gory, bloody, ripped open flesh, then you may not want to view this. So anyway, I'm gonna finish the rest of this pipe. I haven't been able to make too many videos lately because I've been so busy doing a lot of little things. I'm working my regular job, and I'm also this close to launching the new business. And man, when you start a I'm starting this business. When I hit the ground with this business, I want it to be a professional business. I don't want to look like a side hustle, weekend job. Like, I'm trying to hit the ground running on this thing in the most professional way possible. I've been in Zoom meetings with the software providers that you know, provide all my software for billing, invoices, websites, all kind of other stuff. So I've really tried to take my time with this and approach it as a real business and not some side hustle. And I hope that when we do launch it, I hope that it goes, that people can see it for that. So that's been taking up a ton of my time here lately, plus my real job, and plus coaching, helping coach basketball on my son's team and all that. But that's going to kind of come to a standstill for a little bit. And so I just haven't got to make a whole lot of videos. Still enjoying my pipes, still enjoying my tobaccos. I've really just been smoking this and Prince Albert lately. So not much to tell, not much to show, I guess. I haven't gotten any new pipes lately or anything, but thought I'd get on here and at least show that. I'm still here, still part of the YTPC, still watching y'all's videos and commenting when I can, and or when I have something to say or whatever, liking them. And Midway Piper, Alex, I want to thank you again for this Burley morning pipe, because it is wonderful. And I do have a little bit from a small sample size that Jess Piping sent me, but I'm fixing to have to make a order of this for sure. So I hope you didn't mind this pipe chat, and we will catch you on the next one. As always, please like, share, comment, subscribe, and whatever you feel like doing. If you don't want to see the pictures of my son's leg, this is the end for you right here, because next I'm going to show those images. So for those that don't want to see it, you can go ahead and end it here. Those that do, stay tuned.